Hey, everyone! Welcome back to the Mastering English podcast, where we dive into language, culture, and everything in between. I'm Ben, and today we've got something really fun lined up. We're talking about Pokemon. Yes, we're going all the way back to those memories of Pokeballs, epic battles, and of course Pikachu.
Hey guys, I'm Lily and I am beyond excited for today's episode. Pokemon is one of those shows that everyone has at least some memory of, right? I mean, it's like a universal experience at this point.
Right. And Pokemon gives us so much to talk about, especially when it comes to language learning. It's packed with vocabulary, memorable characters, and let's be honest, some really epic battles. So, let's start with a quick question, Lily. Who's your favorite Pokemon and why?
Oh, hands down, it's Bulbasaur. I know, he's not as flashy as Charizard or as cute as Pikachu, but there's something about him that's just so dependable. Plus, he's a grass type, so he's all about growth and resilience, you know?
Love that choice. Bulbasaur is super underrated. I mean, it's part plant and part dinosaur. What's not to like? For me, I'd have to say Gengar. He's just so mischievous, and his grin is unforgettable. There's something about his ghostly nature that keeps you on your toes.
Gengar is a classic. He's such a trickster. And honestly, speaking of characters like Gengar, don't you think Pokemon is a great way to pick up on some fun English vocabulary? I mean, think about all the different types: electric, psychic, ghost. You can't help but learn some science-related words while watching.
Exactly. Plus, the Pokemon moves themselves, like Thunderbolt and Hydro Pump, are so vivid. You instantly get a sense of the action, even if you're not familiar with the language. It's like they created an entire vocabulary of action-packed English terms.
Totally. I remember learning words like fury and blizzard just from watching battles. And the show also sneaks in some great everyday phrases. Like every time Ash starts a battle, he's like, "I choose you." Such a simple sentence, but it's catchy and it sticks with you.
Oh, for sure. And speaking of battles, do you have a favorite Pokemon battle? One that really sticks out?
Definitely. I'd say the Indigo Plateau battle from the original series when Ash goes up against Richie. The stakes felt so high and you could just feel how much Ash wanted to win. And it was one of those moments that really captured the idea of persistence, even when you lose. That's something we can all relate to, right?
Yes, that battle is so iconic. And it's actually a great lesson in vocabulary, too. Ash's loss taught us words like defeat and determination. And, hey, not every story has a happy ending, but that's part of life and learning.
Exactly. It adds depth. And the characters themselves have so much personality. Team Rocket, for example. They're hilarious, and I actually think they helped me learn sarcasm in English. Jesse and James always have these wild schemes that backfire, and their exaggerated reactions? Pure gold.
Yes, Team Rocket is like the perfect crash course in humor and irony. They might be villains, but they're lovable villains, and they give us so many expressions. I mean, we're blasting off again. How many times have they said that line?
Too many to count. And honestly, they're so extra with their language. I remember how Jessie would always say, "Prepare for trouble and make it double." Such a simple line, but it really sticks and you can feel her enthusiasm. It's just another example of how Pokemon is secretly loaded with language lessons.
Absolutely. And it's not just the dialogue. Even the locations in the Pokemon world are amazing for vocabulary. Take the different cities and regions: Cerulean City, Pewter City, Lavender Town. Each place has its own vibe and hints at what you might find there.
That's a good point, Ben. And they each have names that connect to colors or elements, like cerulean, which is actually a shade of blue. Gives you hints about the environment and even the types of Pokemon you'll find there. A subtle way to learn without even realizing it.
So true. And besides vocabulary, I think Pokemon also teaches some great lessons. For example, every time Ash loses a battle, he learns something new and he never gives up. It's a perfect example of resilience, which is an essential trait in language learning, too.
Definitely. That never give up spirit is so encouraging. I mean, how many times has Ash faced setbacks? But he keeps going, always with that big smile and boundless optimism. Watching that as a kid, and even now, reminds you to keep trying no matter how tough it gets.
Exactly. And it's kind of the same approach with English learner, right? It's a journey just like Ash is. You'll have tough moments, but you can always level up with practice. So, to wrap it up, Lily, if you had to pick one Pokemon-related tip for English learners, what would it be?
Ooh, that's a good one. I'd say to start watching episodes with subtitles. Such a fun and easy way to learn phrases, pick up new vocabulary, and see how words are used in context. Plus, you get to follow the action at the same time, which keeps it exciting.
Love that tip. For me, I'd suggest looking up the names of Pokemon moves. Some of them, like Thunder Punch or Solar Beam, are great examples of compound words, and they're super descriptive, so you get a sense of what they mean right away.
Great advice, Ben. And hey, for everyone listening, let us know your favorite Pokemon too. Drop it in the comments. We'd love to hear your Pokemon memories and any vocabulary you picked up along the way. Now let's look at some words and phrases used in the Pokemon podcast.
Resilience, the ability to recover quickly from difficulties or setbacks. The athlete's resilience after the injury inspired the entire team. Grin, meaning a wide smile, often showing happiness, amusement, or confidence. Example, she couldn't hide her grin after winning the competition. Trickster, meaning someone who loves playing pranks or causing playful mischief. Example, the trickster in the class always found a way to make everyone laugh. Fury, meaning extreme anger or rage, often uncontrollable. Example, he couldn't contain his fury when he discovered the betrayal. Blizzard, meaning a severe snowstorm with strong winds or, metaphorically, a chaotic situation. Example, the blizzard made it impossible to drive, so we stayed indoors.
Many thanks for joining us on this nostalgic journey through the Pokemon world. Keep catching those new words like you're catching Pokemon. Until next time, keep practicing, keep exploring, and we'll see you back here on the Mastering English podcast.